Good morning, Nerd Fam, and welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia. We're here kicking off day 2 of KubeCon. My name is Savannah Peterson, delighted to be bringing you the best and the brightest from the show floor with the one and only Rob Strechay. Rob, this is our first time in Atlanta together.
It is. You've been here a bunch lately,
I've been here 3 times this year.
I haven't been here in a while, so I'm excited to be here and sharing it with you.
Yeah, thank you. I've been enjoying the South. It's good little touch. Speaking of nice, warm, fuzzy feelings, our next guest is somebody I've known for a decade. Gleb, welcome to the show.
Thank you for actually having me. It's great to see you. It's great to be here with you guys.
Yeah, it's so fun. Love keeping it in the Backblaze family. Before we really dig into the meat of this, Backblaze, publicly traded company, y'all have been on quite a journey over the last 14, 15 years. Tell us a little bit about, and I mean I've gotten to front row of the evolution, tell us a little bit about where you are now and the types of problems you're solving for your customers.
Sure, so we have a large cloud storage platform, one of the largest, as you know, and we're solving a variety of problems. I mean, some of them start as simple as companies that have a backup need, and we are a destination for their backup software.
You have always owned that space.
That has been a core bread and butter space. It's evolved over the years because with ransomware protection and the like, it's evolved. But increasingly, we're now solving customers' problems around AI. Like, everybody is trying to help. Right, and what we're seeing is customers building models, customers doing inferencing, and needing just a place to put a lot of data and be able to move that data quickly to wherever they need it to go.
So, and having the safety and security of that with a trusted partner like you, I can imagine is critical. Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that ties off with a lot of what we were talking a little bit beforehand, and you guys are really doing some interesting stuff where you've looked at your network and what's going on, because I think a lot of people are saying, is it a bubble, is it not a bubble? But I think people need to get the ROI right, and I think they have to use the data from where it is and use it. So what was some of the stuff that you were seeing, like with different destinations for the data and things like that?
Yeah, so you followed this for a long time, so we've been publishing these hard drive reliability statistics for over a decade, where we take hundreds of thousands of hard drives that we have and we monitor them, and then we publish blog posts.
It's always been really cool because it was tangible and real, not just some hypothetical 10 people we surveyed and here's what they said.
Yeah, it's not. We do periodically get someone saying, oh, but my one hard drive didn't perform this way. And we're like, okay, that's
Congrats.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we've got about 300,000 hard drives, and here's the data that we see. Now, every so often we've gotten people complaining to us saying, you're publishing these reports, I want you to do this report analysis a different way. And we're like, this is not our business to publish these reports. We're just sharing this with the community to be, to put it out there.
To be inclusive and to let people know what the landscape is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what you were talking about is, one of the things that we've just started doing is publishing network statistics. So we, as a storage backbone for the internet, we see a lot of the data and where it flows. And what we used to see is a lot of the data would flow from our customers to an ISP or to on-prem or to a hyperscaler. And one of the things that's been fascinating is that with the one that we just published yesterday, we saw a quarter of all of the data is going to the neoclouds.
Wow.
A quarter, right? So that's
significant.
It's significant, and these are organizations that didn't exist really a few years ago, right? They're all the GPU rental companies, CoreWeave, Nebius, Lambda, et cetera. And so that's been fascinating to see. So what that says to us is, customers are storing a lot of data on Backblaze, and then they're using it for AI purposes because they're sending it to these neoclouds.
Yeah, which is great because I think a lot of them are here. A lot of the neocloud guys are here, some are on the main stage, and they're talking about just how the entire stack is kind of progressing. Where do you see Backblaze really fitting in that entire process? Because again, data is core to AI in a big way. I mean, you can't.
Well, there is no AI without data.
Yeah, there's no AI without data, to put it mildly. So where do you see your fitting and how customers are using you?
So we think about the 5 stages of an AI workflow, right? So first, you need to grab all the data. Like, it's got to come from wherever it comes from, whether it's scraped data, synthetic data, your own data, wherever, you have to assemble all the data. Then you have to make sure that it's labeled so that you can understand, organize the data. Then you send it to a place where you can create a model. From there, you've got your model, then you use it for inferencing, and then you're running your application, you're doing inferencing, and then you log the data, right? So there's the 5 stages. And we help customers in each of the 5. So we'll help customers collect all the data and store it on Backblaze. We'll enable them to label it there, then send it as fast as they can. We launched a service called B2 Overdrive earlier this year. Customers can do up to a terabit-per-second of throughput. We think it's the fastest throughput offering per dollar on the market, full stop, worldwide.
And that's what everybody wants right now. At the end of the day, I mean, especially as we're kind of in the messy cutting room floor era of AI, as people figure out what their MVPs are, that cost is really critical. You have some data in here about AI tooling and competition. Looking at retailers using AI report 5 to 15% annual growth and operational cost reductions of 30%. You're on that operational cost reduction end then too.
We are. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because we definitely save companies money. I mean, we're about 1/5 the price of the hyperscalers for the storage.
Go ahead and dust your shoulders off on that one.
There's a lot of work over 15 plus years that the team has worked into really making the storage platform very efficient, right? So we're about 1/5 the price for the storage, but then one of the huge parts is the egress, right? Like because there are these neoclouds, there's about 200 of these neoclouds now around the world, and customers are saying, I want to use that one or I want to use this one. They need to get their data over to them, and the hyperscalers charge these crazy fees, right? These egregious egress fees to send your data out. So we make that free, and so we do. We save people a lot of money, right? But I think what the stat you were referencing about the growth is that companies are also finding that they drive more revenue from using AI. And so it's not only a cost savings, it's also an innovation and a revenue growth opportunity.
Yeah, and I think again to your point about why does speed and efficiency matter? I mean, these neoclouds, they have to keep those GPUs busy. When somebody's looking at it, they need to know where their data is and where to move it to. And to the point of egress, that's how people, I mean, I worked for one of the hyperscalers. I mean, that was even me building a service inside of one of the hyperscalers. That was always a worry of mine, was because people wanted to move data out, and I was in the hybrid side of things. But when you look at this, are you seeing people coming to you with new use cases about, here's why I want to use you in this workflow, because again, I need that performance to keep it and feed those GPUs, but to your point, that other part of the 5 steps, hey, a big conversation here is inference. And it's been exciting. It's not going to be
such the focus. I'm loving it. We're finally making it real.
Right. It's about the real use cases that actually drive return. Is that a lot of what you're seeing? Is people coming to you with new? Hey, we have some AI now. We're going to want to expand it, but we're looking at inference and other things that we need to put in other places and have good data to feed that.
Yeah, so we see both, right? And we see actually at all the stages. So. We have one customer that we have, they have been building an image library for decades, frankly, and so they've got this, tens of petabytes of images, and now they've discovered a new revenue stream, which is selling that catalog to other model builders. And so what they needed is a place to store the data, and then be able to send it to model builders very quickly. So they're in the business of selling that data. We have another customer that is actually collecting this. A company comes to them and says, we need the following data, can you go get it? And they go out and they scrape the internet and find the right places, and they collect that data, and then they store it on Backblaze, and then they send it. So there's the front end of that. But then we also have lots and lots of companies, hundreds of AI companies doing all the inferencing stuff. So I know, like one company I was looking at, they actually are helping build robots that build physical buildings, and
cool.
It's very cool, right? And it's like whether it's the housing shortages that we have or commercial businesses, like having it more efficient to build buildings faster is awesome. And they're doing robotics to do that while they're using us for the data platform for the AI for those robots, right? We have another customer that is accelerating drug discovery using AI, right? So we're seeing it both on the front end, which what we're calling kind of the supply side of the AI world, and then we're also seeing it on the demand side, which is like you said, putting into real world use and actually getting outcomes for medicine, for driving, for video, for content and the like.
On that, just because those are wonderful customer examples, and we're getting what I wanted when we talked in our analyst segment yesterday. I was like, I want to hear what people are actually doing. I want to hear the wild, out in the wild stories. What's the most exciting application that you've seen within your customer base that you can talk about for you personally?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that it's not the ones that are the most applicable for me today, but the things that I am most excited about are the ones around medicine, right? Because it does feel like, the idea that in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we will have potentially many more medical solutions than we have today is amazing, right? And so much of medicine is is analysis based, right? It's trying to correlate, well, we use these things, we saw these, the idea that you could evaluate tons of MRI, CT scans and everything, cross-correlate that with all of the statistics and biomarkers and everything, and have more personalized medicine, I think for all of us, might be the biggest thing that comes out of it.
I really agree with you. I think we're going to be able to do so much more preventative medicine as a result of that, rather than trying to figure out the mystery when everything's going on and it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And I mean, I look at it and go, I think the timing for you guys being here is so right? I mean, a lot is going on within KubeCon and CloudNativeCon as we expand out, and there's a lot, I mean, the focus on AI, and I think they're starting to get with some of the new projects that are coming into the CNCF and this. But from your perspective, how's the fit with Kubernetes and what you guys do? I know, but why don't you tell people why,
I mean, we're sitting here in the, in the heart of where AI is getting created in here, right? So I think for us what we see is obviously Kubernetes is the technology that people are using to build the systems to allow AI models and processing and inferencing and everything to happen, scale, and be more efficient. All of that then needs a data platform to be supported, right? It's not inside of Kubernetes itself, but Kubernetes speaks to Backblaze and to all the storage layers. So it's a very natural fit of enabling all those workloads.
Yeah, I think when I look at it, I think the fact that you guys are multi-cloud friendly, that you're S3 compatibility, and you're easy, it makes it easy to use and bring to that. Are you seeing that, like, the folks that are using Kubernetes are just the barrier to entry has got to be so low for them in that way?
Yeah, and I think it's an accelerating path, right? And one of the things is everybody is figuring it out, right? So there's all these new tools that are popping up, all kinds of new open source projects that are popping up, like, to make all these workflows happen. And each time that there's a new breakthrough, there's a new problem, right? Because you break through and then there's a new bottleneck of what's the next thing you want to solve. And so the nice thing is most of those things require data, at least it's a nice thing for us, right? Yeah. They require data or they create data. And that data is generally increasingly being put in object format. Yeah. So having be an easy to use object storage solution that is compatible, and our whole, one of our core beliefs that I think is unique from the hyperscalers is we want to enable this whole ecosystem. We want this all to exist. We don't want to say, you have to stay inside of Backblaze, that's the only thing out there, right?
You're not siloing everyone in a little data jail.
Exactly, right? It's like there's so much innovation happening here, right? And so we want to facilitate that, and the way you facilitate that is by saying, the data is yours, we are here to provide you a really durable, fast, easy to use platform, but it's got to be open. Like, you've got to be able to send the data and use it how you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that resonates particularly in this room. The folks who have been building transparently and open are really starting to reap the benefits, I think, as we see AI get to scale, which is very exciting. I'm curious from an education perspective, because you've worked with a lot of your customers for an extended period of time, probably got a whole new pipeline coming in with this AI offering. How are you and the team approaching educating your customers so they know the availability of all of this and they know what to do? I mean, you've educated us just sitting here on the news desk.
So we have a blog that's actually quite widely read, right? A few million people a year read our blog. Historically, it's been very storage focused. And so for storage enthusiasts, it's been a popular blog, right? And we're increasingly trying to add more information there that for people, practitioners and people who are using it, right? So we share information not only on drive statistics and network statistics, but also how do you do things with your data? How do you build? Giving use cases and customer examples. So a lot of what we're trying to do is share that information with the community through evangelism, through the content on the blog, and through going to shows like this and sharing information.
I think it's so important. It's something I've always known you did well, which is why I wanted to call that out. I think there's the quiet whisper conversations, and then there are the folks who are saying, hey, here's how you put the engine in the car and put the wheels on. Up to you how fast you drive, but we're here to help you out with that. We'll be the nitrous. Final question for you, Gleb. When we're hanging out, everything's moving pretty fast right now. When we're hanging out at KubeCon in Salt Lake City in 2026, what do you hope to be able to say then that you can't yet say today?
I think what I'd love to be able to say is, look at all these incredible companies that have been able to exist and to innovate because of what AI is enabling and what we have helped them enable with Backblaze.
Perfect. Well, hopefully we'll get one of those stories on the stage with us next year and we can make that magic happen. Thanks, Gleb, for being here. It's so awesome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Good seeing you guys.
Of course. Yeah, and thank you, Rob. And a quick shout out to the entire Backblaze team because they've always made me feel like family. I hope you're all having a beautiful day wherever you might be. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia at KubeCon. My name's Savannah Peterson. You're watching theCUBE, the leading source for enterprise tech news.